Gray, 15 yards inside the Watford half. Bailey, out to Richardson. Now Reid with a bit of space. Richardson again, left-hand side. Bardsley chasing him back. Early cross from Richardson, deflected by Sinnott. Might come for Gary Stevens, left-footed shot. Graham Sharp with a great chance, it's there! Graham Sharp has scored for Everton. Oh, what a marvellous tonic just before half-time. Gary Stevens made it all possible, forcing the ball forward. And Graham Sharp, whose season has suddenly turned into goals, scores the most important one of his life to put Everton in front with just 8 minutes to go to half-time.
On May the 19th, 1984, Everton won their first major trophy for 14 years, the FA Cup at Wembley. 12 months later, they returned to the stadium, seeking their 5th trophy inside a year. The story of what happened at Goodison Park in that period is a football fairy tale, told now by the men who wrote the script and even put it to music.
Everton is the best, we all know. We're the team, we're supreme, number one. And we love you, Everton. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Side by side as we sing along together. EVERTON, we're Everton and we'll be Everton forever.
Stephen again on the right-hand side. Trying to get on the outside of Price. Into a far post, Gray arriving, he's knocked it in! Andy Gray has scored for Everton, and that could be the one which wins the FA Cup!
Here we go, here we go, here we go. Everton is the best, we all know. We're the team, we're supreme, number one. And we love you, Everton. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Side by side as we sing along together. EVERTON, we're Everton and we'll be Everton forever. We're the new sensation, we're the talk of all the nation. We're so in this magic day with you. Here we go, here we go. Everton is the best, we all know. We're the team, we're supreme, number one. And we love you, Everton. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Side by side as we sing along together. EVERTON, we're Everton and we'll be Everton forever.
The referee John Hunting checks his watch, puts it in his back pocket, whistling mouth, that's it! Everton have won the FA Cup. The long wait is over. The first major success since the Championship of 1970.
Here we go, here we go, here we go. Side by side as we sing along together. EVERTON, we're Everton and we'll be Everton forever. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Everton is the best, we all know. We're the team, we're supreme, number one. And we love you, Everton. Here we go, here we go, here we go. Side by side as we sing along together. EVERTON, we're Everton and we'll be Everton forever. EVERTON, we're Everton and we'll be Everton forever.
But if Everton's cup final triumph was to be the catalyst to a season of further successes, it was crucial they picked up where they left off against the old enemy in the Charity Shield in August.
Here's Sharp in space, just outside the penalty area, picking up a pass from Kevin Ratcliffe. Great chance, Grobbler saved at the first attempt. Sharp again, Hansen blocked it. Oh, it's gone in off Bruce Grobbler. And Everton are in front. A bizarre goal in the end, because Bruce Grobbler was the last man to touch the ball, although there was nothing at all he could do about it. And is this the beginning of something big for Everton Football Club? Kevin Ratcliffe, for the second time in 3 months, walks up the Wembley steps first to collect silverware. Collects the Charity Shield and parades it to those Evertonians who've waited so long for moments like this. And victory all the sweeter this afternoon, because it's Liverpool who stand at the bottom of the steps and watch.
Well, Adrian Heath, you were in both the Cup-winning and the Charity Shield-winning teams. How important were those first two trophies for Everton after a 14-year wait?
I think from the players, looking back now, I think the FA Cup was the one. I think we finally believed in ourselves that we were a force to be reckoned with. The fact that we'd been, 7 or 8 games before the final, I think, was unbeaten, winning the semi-final, winning the final. And as you say, starting off the next season, beating Liverpool at Wembley, which is like they'd been there 10 and 11 times and generally win there. And for us to go there and really play them off the pitch that day, I thought we played some great football. And to beat the old enemy at Wembley, really give everybody a lift.
And yet you started the season with a 4-1 home defeat by Tottenham Hotspur. Now, what did that do to your confidence?
I think at the time the lads were playing with so much, I don't think it dented it too much, to be honest. I think a lot of the Evertonians perhaps thought that here we go again, because so many times they've been sort of built up that the club are going to do this, and then all of a sudden have it knocked out of them. And then I think the manager and the staff we've got at the moment didn't really allow us to do that. I think we went to the Chelsea game and I remember the manager saying something like, "I don't want to get beat here tonight." And all of a sudden it sort of went home to the lads, really, that the importance of the game. And I think that was like a little turning point for us.
Classy looking pass, will pick out Kevin Richardson in the Chelsea penalty area. Richardson with a great chance, 1-0. Kevin Richardson has scored for the Blues. And that is a marvellous tonic for Howard Kendall's men.
What a relief. League points at last on August the 31st, because despite Everton's Charity Shield victory, it was Liverpool who had started the title campaign as championship favourites, and the bookmakers' generous quote of 12-1 the Blues looked a realistic one for a week or two. But by the time the Merseyside Giants met again at Anfield towards the end of October, Everton had eased back into the top 6 and were starting to rewrite the history books.
Sporting a red cap in this second half, Bruce Groller, as the sun sets behind the Kop end, which Liverpool are now attacking. And already made one breathtaking save from Gary Stevens in this game. Long right-footed clearance, finds Stevens. Here's Reid on the halfway line. Back to Stevens again. Floated forward with the right foot, singing out Graham Sharp. Lovely first touch, right-footed volley. Brilliant goal by Graham Sharp. First blood to the Blues down at the Anfield Road end. And an absolute classic from Graham Sharp. Marvellous goal. Grobbler never saw it. Controlled it with his first touch. High ball played over his head. And then thumped it in on the volley from 20 yards. And now Everton to end the long wait for a victory at Anfield.
I think for the lads that was probably one of the highlights of the season, especially the way that Liverpool have dictated sort of football in Merseyside for the last few years. And for us to go there and play really, really well and to beat them with a fabulous goal. I know personally it's one of the highlights of my career, that was, because prior to that game I'd hardly had a kick, never mind beating Liverpool. I think the main thing was that we went there and played with a lot of flair, and we played with a lot of sort of passion, and I think the supporters suddenly realised that we have got a team to be reckoned with.
Do you think you were playing your best football of the whole season at that time, towards the end of October and so on?
Yes, I think we were. We played Liverpool and then we played United, obviously, when we beat them 5, which I think was probably the best team performance of the season. Everybody from 1 to 11 had a great game that day.
Olsen on the edge of his own penalty area continues the clearance. Only as far as Mountfield, though. A high one into the box. Sheedy arriving with a header. It's a good one. He scored! Kevin Sheedy, within 4 minutes of his return to the side, gets an absolutely priceless goal for Everton. Headed down to Moses again. Rather loose ball square towards Robson. Seized upon and played skillfully to Moran, but won again by Kevin Sheedy, and Everton are winning so much in the middle of the field. And here's Adrian Heath trying to make capital of it. Sheedy inside the penalty area, 2-0. Absolutely marvellous goal. Kevin Sheedy's second of the game, and Everton have torn Manchester United apart in the opening quarter of this game. Ratcliffe then with a free kick. A high one, in towards the head of Graham Sharp, got a turn on. McQueen away from Heath, then Moses competing the clearance. Only as far as Trevor Stephen, rifled it again. Oh, they've scored again. Adrian Heath makes it 3. And this is a memorable afternoon for all the fans here at Everton. And who's to say they can't win the title now, the way they're playing? Only away as far as Bracewell, though. Square to Stevens, 10 yards outside the penalty area. He's gone past Olsen. Right-footed shot, 4-0. Oh, marvellous finish from Gary Stevens. An Everton free kick, down by the corner flag on the left-hand side. Adrian Heath will take it. Bent in towards Sharp. It's there. 5-0 to Everton. Oh, this is a memorable afternoon for the Blues.
By a strange twist of fate, the Cup finalists were drawn to meet again just 3 days later in a Milk Cup third-round tie at Old Trafford, which one former Evertonian will never forget.
Stevens again on the right-hand side. Reid once more, square in field of him. Now a chance for Peter Reid to go forward, just outside the box, tried to curl one in. Might still come for Trevor Stephen. John Gibbons headed into his own goal, and Everton are in front. Oh, what a tragedy for the former Everton player.
2 rounds of the Milk Cup, successfully negotiated, all set for the European quarter-finals. Then, on November the 3rd, the Blues hit the top of the First Division table for the first time, thanks to a 3-0 win over Leicester City.
At Everton break. Heath, left-hand side. It's 3 against 3 for a moment. Midway inside the Leicester half. Adrian Heath on the left-hand touchline. Rolled into Kevin Sheedy. Oh, it might still come for Trevor Stephen. Hit the post and got in. And Everton make the long-awaited breakthrough. Certainly a different Everton in this second half. And on the corner on the left-hand side, Gary Stevens and Derek Mounfield are both inside the penalty area. Trevor Stephen takes it into the near post. Headed away by Ramsey. Sheedy with the volley. 2-0. Oh, my word. They look like they're going to the top of the table in some style. Far more bite about Everton in this second half. And Kevin Sheedy on his return to the side rifles in the second goal. And if they go top tonight, who's going to shift them? Great, that's a nice little headed flick on. Heath turning, right-footed, 3-0. They're at it again. Playing now. Adrian Heath scoring their third goal. And surely now, Everton will go back to the top of the First Division for the first time in well over 5 years.
It could be that the Blues played their best football of the whole campaign in October and November. 10 straight wins in which they scored 26 goals and conceded only 2, adding into Bratislava to University College Dublin on their list of European victims and moving from 8th to 1st in the table. It was Grimsby Town, of all people, who ended the run. One of those nights, the commentator should have kept his big mouth shut.
Well, there'd be more than irony about this game if Grimsby could snatch something in the last couple of minutes. They haven't been in it as an attacking force, and now they have a free kick less than 10 yards outside the Everton penalty area. Referee Terry Holbrook just waving back the 5-man Everton wall. Rather protracted discussion between Crombie, Ford and Bonnyman, who bends it in with the right foot. A header, it's there! Oh, my word! Wilkinson has surely won the game for Grimsby. And if ever there's been an injustice in cup football, this is it.
If there was any consolation to be squeezed from that shock Milk Cup defeat on November the 20th, it at least brought Paul Wilkinson to Everton's notice. But the Blues won only once in their next 5 games, losing the First Division leadership before Christmas, and worse still, losing Adrian Heath, whose 13 goals in 26 games had forced him right into the England reckoning.
It was a pleasure to watch the lads in some of the games because they were playing that well. But on the other hand, to have been involved when the ball started to roll, if you like, and the snowball was getting bigger, to suddenly sort of drop out. And I think the hardest part of it all for me was Rotterdam. It was as low as I've ever been, I think, on that night. Because I know I played for such an illustrious club with such a big name, and for the people who played that night, they're going to go down in history for the club of being the 11 who won the first European honour for Everton. And it hit home to me that night because it was a fabulous night, the supporters and everything. Just a great night for Everton Football Club, and to sort of be sitting in the stand with the supporters didn't really mean an awful lot to me.
But as one hero bowed out to a lonely vigil in the treatment room, another emerged to lead Everton on the 28-game unbeaten run that was to clinch the championship. A hero right out of the comic strips, blonde, dashing and brave.
Bracewell beautifully onto Reid, rampaging down the right-hand side. He's beaten Daniel, drives it in. Andy Gray, 1-1. Glorious goal. Andy Gray, who's threatened from the very first whistle, equalises for Everton. Bracewell, back out to Stephen. Left-hand side, crossed in with the right foot, this time towards Gray. Oh, marvellous goal. And this is Andy Gray at his very, very best. Another wonderful diving header, this time from the curled cross by Trevor Stephen from the left-hand side. And after half an hour of frustration, Andy Gray points the way towards the title for Everton again.
Andy, what were your feelings during that part of the season when you weren't in the team?
Obviously very frustrated and very pleased. It was a time of mixed emotions for me. Happy that the lads were bubbling along at the top of the First Division and going well, and frustrated and disappointed that even though you're in the 12, that I wasn't really part of it.
I suppose it's remarkable looking back at it now, but 1 or 2 people were wondering how long you'd stay at the club at that time.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, everyone knows that I think how ambitious I am, and ambitious people don't like to spend too much time in the reserves. I think a compliment to the club and a compliment to the lads is that I did stay as long as I did when I was out of the team, without going and seeing the boss, without publicly making my feelings felt. On a personal note, it was really pleasing to go on that run, because when Adrian got injured, I think a lot of people looked around and thought, well, that is the end of Everton's title hopes. Whether they didn't fancy Graham and I to go on and play together the way that Adrian and Graham had been playing before, I don't know. So that was really pleasing, because I knew people, if we had lost the league after Adrian dropping out, I knew people would maybe have pointed the finger and said, well, that was the reason.
But the replacement became the inspiration, and by January the 12th, Everton had regained the First Division leadership, this time for keeps. Leeds, Doncaster and Telford were cut down to size in the FA Cup. Then Manchester United's title challenge was snuffed out on a dramatic day of missed penalties at Old Trafford.
Strachan with the right foot. Southall saved it. Oh, an heroic stop by the Everton goalkeeper. And Strachan has missed another one. Forward by McGrath. Brazil is onside, edge of the penalty area. He's turned away from outfield. Olsen with a left-footed volley at 1-0. Jesper Olsen puts Manchester United in front. And Everton felt there should have been an offside in the build-up to that goal. They feel that Alan Brazil was offside in the build-up. But he turned beautifully on the edge of the penalty area, and Jesper Olsen, perhaps the liveliest attacking player on the field in the first half, made capital of the situation to volley home the goal. 8 minutes to go to half-time, and United are in front. So an Everton corner on the left-hand side. Trevor Stephen hit by a missile thrown from behind him there on the Stretford end. Clearly in some discomfort, takes the corner nevertheless into the near post. Curran on, Mountfield with a header, 1-1. Derek Mountfield has equalised for Everton, and that's the perfect reply. It was beautifully worked. Stephen bent it in from the corner flag on the left-hand side. Curran got the flick onto the near post. Mountfield buried it from the edge of the 6-yard box, and Everton are back on terms. Another throw to Everton, about 20 yards from the corner flag on their left. One that Pat van den Hauwe again will take. Sheedy making a run in towards the corner flag, dragging a defender away for Gray to receive it on the edge of the box. Back to Bracewell, 15 yards outside the penalty area. Crossed in high towards Trevor Stephen. Brilliantly controlled on the edge of the 6-yard box now. Was he fouled there by Albiston? Yes, he was. Penalty to Everton. Albiston's foul on Trevor Stephen. And Everton have a marvellous opportunity to maybe win the game from the penalty spot with just 8 minutes remaining. It was a tantalising cross by Paul Bracewell, and Trevor Stephen's first touch was the key to it. He brought it down instantly. Albiston put him under pressure and just seemed to push him to the ground. And Kevin Sheedy, who scored from the spot against Telford, has a chance now perhaps to win 3 very vital championship points for Everton. Left-footed. Oh, and Bailey saved it. Would you believe it? Gary Bailey beats it away. The second penalty of the game is saved. Bailey with an heroic stop down at the same end, where Neville Southall saved from...
But that dramatic and valuable point at Old Trafford marked the start of another magnificent week at the beginning of March. 3 quarter-finals in 7 days. Fortuna Sittard first, and Andy Gray's first European game for the club.
Reid, edge of the penalty area, tries a shot. Van Gerven hasn't held it. Andy Gray's got it. Andy Gray makes the deadlock. Van Gerven's fault, really. He couldn't hold Reid's shot, and Gray follows in from close range. Curran inside the penalty area now, loops it across the far side. Gray, he's done it again. Andy Gray scored for Everton. A diving header, getting on the end of Curran's cross, getting in ahead of Gerven, swooping down to head the ball over the line. Everton 2, Fortuna 0, and that could have killed off the Dutchman. Sheedy swings the ball in towards Gray's, and a hat-trick he'll score anyway. Gray's done his hat-trick. Andy Gray follows up his second with his third.
Next came Ipswich Town in the last 8 of the FA Cup. 2-1 down at Goodison with time running out.
Gary Stevens down the right-hand touchline. Reid on the rampage now, just outside the box, in towards Pat van den Hauwe, crossed in with the right foot. Mountfield, yes! Everton have equalised. Derek Mountfield has got the goal. Pat van den Hauwe made it possible. They've left it late, just 5 minutes to spare. But Everton are still in the FA Cup.
Graham Sharp was back after a 4-game absence for the replay at Portman Road, where Russell Osman's handball proved fatal.
Sharp, who's been out of action for a little under a month, who scored 2 goals on his last visit to Portman Road, now has a chance to bounce right back. Right-footed against Grew, he scored. The goalkeeper got a hand to it, but Graham Sharp has put Everton within 15 minutes of the FA Cup semi-final.
2 semi-final places booked, and the title virtually a 2-horse race by the time Everton took a 3-point lead to Tottenham Hotspur on April the 3rd.
Southall with another enormous clearance down the field. Miller heads it down. Andy Gray, 1-0. Oh, what a marvellous finish by Andy Gray. And what a superb tonic for Everton. 9 minutes gone. A massive clearance by by Neville Southall. Miller misjudged it, headed it square, and Andy Gray, first time from 20 yards, thundered a shot past Clemens. And how important a goal will that prove to be in Everton's bid to win back the title?
No one really fancied us to stay there the whole season, and we knew we would. I mean, I think that the self-belief at the club was that strong that we felt that we could stay there. Even if we had a couple of hiccups on the way, we felt we could still recover and stay there. Everyone pointed to Tottenham having 10 out of the last 15 games at home and how they would finish the stronger, and Everton would suffer through that. But it was proved the opposite. It was proved that we went on and won important games away from home all the time after that, and Tottenham could continue to drop points at home. But that was probably the turning point, and after that the press, I think, sat down and says, well, this team is probably a bit special, and it's been a long time since anyone's won the league as comfortably as we have this year, and I think that speaks volumes for the calibre of people on the side.
Graham Sharp on the edge of his home penalty area clears his lines. Down the field for Trevor Stephen to chase. Mark Bowen, oh, he's been dispossessed by Stephen, who's got a great chance. It's gone round Clemens, he must score, he has done! Trevor Stephen makes it 2-0 for Everton, and that could be the goal which wins the championship. Hoddle takes it short to Perryman. Hoddle again. Turns, clips it in with the left foot. It's a lovely cross, header from Falco, and an astonishing save by Neville Southall. That is the best save I have seen this season. It was a magnificent stop. Falco's header from 3 yards was a bullet, and somehow Southall deflected it over the crossbar.
That 87th minute miracle by Neville Southall at White Hart Lane pencilled his name in alongside Peter Reid's on a Footballer of the Year trophy. Everton started April with a 3-point lead. They ended it 11 clear and as double cup finalists.
Referee orders a Luton Town wall back just a few more yards. Blues on the brink of defeat. Here comes Sheedy with his left foot. It's got in! Kevin Sheedy's equalised! Oh, a marvellous free kick! And the supporters behind the goal, Everton fans celebrate! Everton have a free kick on the edge of the Luton Town penalty area. You've guessed it, Kevin Sheedy, the man who bent it in. Mountfield's header, it's in! Derek Mountfield has scored for Everton. Everton 2, Luton Town 1. That is the goal that surely will take Everton to Wembley.
Wembley again, and if only the Blues could set yet another record by keeping out Bayern Munich at Goodison, surely Rotterdam was within reach too. But if the German league leaders and cup finalists could poach an away goal, then many felt Everton might find themselves out of their depth in that second leg. Wrong again.
But here's Kürgel now with a chance for Bayern Munich. Edge of the penalty area. Great save by Neville Southall. Herney still has an opportunity. Great chance for him to score, and he has done. And that is the away goal that Bayern Munich have been seeking. And Dieter Herney has scored it. Bounced off Argentala. Had a play for an Everton throw. 20 yards from the corner flag on the right-hand side. Gary Stevens will take it. In towards Andy Gray. Up go the heads. Flicked on towards Sharp. Oh, it's there! Graham Sharp has touched it in. And Everton are level. Andy Gray's header onto the near post, forced in by Graham Sharp, who has scored in every round of the competition and keeps up the record at the time that Everton needed it most. One more and it's Rotterdam. Stevens takes a throw in towards the near post. Faf held it, no he didn't, Gray locked it in, it's a goal! Andy Gray has put Everton in front. Bayern are furious because Faf came for the long throw, felt he was impeded, didn't collect it, but Andy Gray didn't stand around to find out. He thumped it in the back of the net. Celebration time at Goodison Park. They're very close to their first European final now, because Andy Gray, a hat-trick in the quarter-final, has come up with a crucial semi-final goal. And Everton are in front and are on their way to Holland. Forced on towards Andy Gray, breaking inside the Bayern half. Trevor Stephen has a great chance. Edge of the penalty area. Trevor Stephen sends Everton to the final. 3-1 the score on the night.
The rest of the story is how Howard Kendall's so-called team of no stars went on to collect medals, awards and international recognition. Late April and the treble was on.
And you can tell your grandchildren about this night. Liverpool are there in the European Cup final. Everton are now there in the Cup Winners' Cup final. Sharp, Gray and Stephen the scorers in the second half. The legendary Bayern Munich are beaten. Merseyside rules.